I will not stop buying Quant, and here are the reasons why, even though nothing I say is financial advice. Well, first of all, $5,000, hypothetically, if Quant were to reach that, that's around a 50x from here. Now, is this a guarantee? No, but I'm just going to make a make-believe scenario here, because imagine if, let's say, I were to put just $1,000 into Quant right now, and let's say Quant were to go to the price of $5,000, then at that point, that $1,000 would hypothetically be worth 50 grand. And here's the thing. The way you take a look at it is that many people out there, they're not just only holding Quant. So if, let's say, I had a make-believe scenario where I had this very well-diversified portfolio, and even if, let's say, there's just a $1,000 position of Quant right now, and let's say Quant again were to reach the price of $5,000, that holding becomes 50,000. That's not such a bad thing, especially if other projects do well as well, during a fully fledged board. And that's just the way to take a look at it. Also, beyond that, I believe that when it comes to Quant, it could be such a good narrative, maybe potentially for the world of AI. Now, some people may be thinking, okay, what makes you even think that way? No, let me explain. Because historically speaking, from what I've noticed, a lot of these AI apps, right, they usually just exist on one blockchain, which is totally fine. If the blockchain is good, like, there's nothing wrong with it. But the way you take a look at it is that Quant could very well elevate maybe these type of AI apps. And let me explain why. Because if we take a look at the Quant network, which is made up of the Overledger OS and the Overledger network. Now, to put it quite simply, the Overledger OS allows something called multi-chain applications to be built, which are applications that are built on top of multiple blockchains and not only just one. So the amazing thing about it is that this application can take advantage, like for instance, a certain blockchain, and then if there's some weaknesses here, it can supplement that with another blockchain. So that's amazing. So imagine if someone can build like an AI application, and let's say this AI app is really amazing, but then it's kind of stuck with a blockchain, and then the narrative is like, oh, it's kind of slow or not that scalable. Well, maybe they can supplement that with another one, potentially through the Overledger OS if it is made through that, right? So I think that sometimes people don't really think about, hey, Quant could make a big impact in AI. Some people don't really think that way, but I do think that way because I believe that AI is going to become a big narrative, and I think something like this could very well play a large part in it, potentially. We'll have to see, though, but I'm just saying it could, or should I say has the hypothetical potential to. Because just imagine, through the Overledger OS, for instance, an individual can build an application that takes advantage of the speed of the Stellar blockchain, which is historically very fast, but then can supplement that with the rock-solid security of the Bitcoin blockchain. So imagine that. Imagine if an AI app could do that. It's not stuck, with one blockchain. That would be a total game changer. But what I find very fascinating is that when it comes to, multi-chain applications, it's not really like that widespread, at least yet. Like, we don't really think about that, right? Sometimes you only think, oh, this app is on Ethereum, or it's on Solana, it's on Avalanche, it's on Algorand. They don't really say, oh, take a look at this multi-chain application, that's cool. But I believe that isn't that kind of the point for me to enter Quant? Because some people may be thinking, okay, if the Overledger OS is not that, interesting in the scene of like hype or tension or something like that, why would you enter? The way you take a look at it is that, isn't that kind of the point? I want a project that hasn't really become mainstream yet. Quant is by no means a small project. It's actually pretty massive. But the way you take a look at it is that it hasn't been highly regarded yet, like a BNB or like a Solana. You know what I mean? It's not in that category because many people that I know out there, when I ask them about cryptocurrencies, they can pretty much only name 2 or maybe 3 projects, or maybe even 4. Like, for instance, people are going to know Bitcoin, Ethereum. Some will know like XLM or XRP. Others may know like a Solana or BNB. But really beyond that, people don't really think about other projects. So I believe that when it comes to Quant, it hasn't become mainstream yet. And the amazing thing about it is that when it comes to, something like Quant, because the market cap isn't too small, it doesn't feel that risky. But then because it's not too massive, it provides something that I think is very unique. It's kind of like a somewhat mid-sized project, but at the same time, it still has that hypothetical potential to become something special. And that's something that I do like. Risk is not that high. It's not like a microcap. You know what I mean? There's still risk here, but it's not a boring dinosaur. It's not something that could maybe do a 2 or 3x from here. You know what I mean? I think Bitcoin's cool. I think it's amazing. I think it's very revolutionary. It kickstarted this whole space. Of course, I'm totally aware of that. But in a best case scenario, Bitcoin's right now around $100,000. Best case scenario, maybe a 3x, maybe it goes to around $300,000 during a fully fledged bull run. Quant could hypothetically easily do that. Like, it doesn't even need that much volume to do a 3x from here. You know what I mean? But even besides that point, Quant actually happens to be more rare than Bitcoin. And this is mathematically, in my opinion, hypothetically proven because the maximum supply of Bitcoin is 21 million. And if we take a look at Quant, now, of course, depending on the site or exchange, it's a little bit different for whatever reason. But even besides that, like, it's around 14.6 to 14.8 million when it comes to, again, that category. Now, some people may be thinking, okay, but Bitcoin is more widespread, has better adoption, but still, again, I'm not arguing that, right? I'm just arguing the rarity. Quant is more rare, mathematically speaking. So when people like to say that, Quant kind of sucks and all this, well, I think it has a good use case. I think the supply is very low, relatively speaking, not to mention, I think that it's heading in the right direction. Like, I don't hear any bad news when it comes to Quant, like, ever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't hear about, this thing happened, this thing. I never hear that. So I do like it. It's a project that doesn't have much drama, much controversy. You know what I mean? It's not like, there's this going on with Quant. No, there's never anything like that. It's a very low drama project, and I do like it. It's very, relatively speaking, stable in terms of the community because people do really believe in this, and a lot of people that I've seen, they've been holding Quant for years at this point. So not many people are just like, panic selling, panic buying and all this. This is not like a random meme coin. So when it comes to Quant, I do like its future. And just think about this. If Bitcoin, I get it, even though as of right now it's having a slight pullback, but if it keeps heading in a general direction, which is upwards, and let's say it goes to like 150,000, 200,000, 250, maybe even 300,000, I think Quant could look so different because historically speaking, we saw Quant do very well when the market was doing good, especially back in 2021. Not too long ago, we saw it do well as well, but of course, because the market cap isn't that low, it hasn't seen that type of euphoric growth like what we saw with many AI projects that were kind of small but then became massive. And also because Quant hasn't really been good in terms of the promotion, I felt like it was kind of like lagging behind when it comes to the hype, which is why I think we saw like a lot of meme coins out there. Like even Pepe is bigger than Quant as of right now in terms of market cap. You know what I mean? So the way I view it is that Quant is the public perception kind of the best. I think due to its marketing, not really. It's not really there when it comes to the marketing, not to mention the hype really isn't there as of right now. But during a fully fledged bull run, sometimes people don't really care. Well, you've seen just many random projects out there pump out of nowhere, and I don't want to not be prepared for that. And I want to prepare myself for a situation if that does happen, which is why I still believe in Quant anytime on income, acquiring, holding, and just waiting. And again, leading up to the end of this year, if Bitcoin is very amazing, I think Quant could hypothetically go along with the ride. Keep in mind, if it were to go to the price of $5,000, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $60 billion. Still well over $20 billion less than Dogecoin's all-time high market cap back in 2021, years ago. Does it mean that much because Dogecoin's a meme coin? You know what? I'll take it for what it is. I don't think this is too much to ask for. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. Greatly appreciate it. It's Willie the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.